for the good of their families and our society. Hello, parents. We're gonna be going live in about 2 or 3 minutes. So share the link. Let me know you can hear me and leave a comment. I will go live in a few minutes, just a few more minutes. Let's go live very soon. Go ahead and share the link. We've just got a few minutes before we start our Dad's Conference 2026. Just making sure we have all the necessaries in perfect order before we start. So please go ahead and share the link. Go ahead and share, leave comments, let me know you can hear me. And we'll be starting in a few minutes. We will be starting. We empower parents to positively their children for the good of their families and our society. Amazing parenting. Amazing parenting. We empower parents to positively their children for the good of their families and our society. Amazing parenting. Amazing parenting. We empower parents to positively their children for the good of their families and our society. Amazing parenting. Welcome to Amazing Dads Conference 2026. You are all welcome. You are all welcome to Amazing Parenting Dads. Our theme this year is Dad, a Faithful Man. And we know all the amazing dads on this platform who are watching. You are faithful men. And all the mums, the mums are always welcome, but it's the dads who are the star attraction for our Amazing Dads Conference. I just want to welcome everybody as you're logging on, as you're coming into the platform. Be sure to make sure you share the links. The links are live now. Make sure you share, make sure you comment, leave comments below. Let me know that you're there. Let's make this as interactive as we can. We'll have questions and answers at the end. So be sure to put your questions on the live chat and we will make sure we answer all the questions towards the end of the conference. And like I said, please go ahead and share. This is Amazing Parenting and Amazing Parenting for our dads. This is our Dads Conference, our yearly conference. I just want to welcome you all. Thank you for logging on. Thank you for being here today. Big thank you to my husband and my children. Thank you to all of the supporters of Amazing Parenting, the Trailblazers, Amanda, my family, who are constantly, cheering me on. I am really appreciative of you. So like I said, we'll have questions and answers at the end. Amazing Parenting has written some books, and at the end, I will show you the books, and the links are in the description that you can just click on and have a look at those books, buy those books. But we'll do more of that at the end. This is a two-day conference. So tomorrow we are live in the park. The dads are live in the park. We are playing football. We've got games. We've got activities. So bring your children, young dads and younger dads. You know what category you fall into. Bring your children, whether you've got little children or older children, bring all of them along. So that's live in the park tomorrow. The address, I'll read it again at the end, but I just want to read it now for those of you who are logging on. It's in Blackshots Park, Grays, Essex, RM16 2JU, RM16 2JU, and we're tomorrow in the park from 4 o'clock. So be early because we're not going to be there all day. So come on and bring your family to the park tomorrow. If you're anywhere in Essex, anywhere in London, come down and enjoy yourself with us in the park. Parking is free. Bring your car. Train station's not too far away as well. So endeavor to join us tomorrow for our continued Dad's event. This is a 2-day event and it continues tomorrow. So like I said, this is 2026 Dad's Conference. We have it every year. And this year, the theme for the dads is Dad, a Faithful Man. And on this platform, we talk to all kinds of dads, whether you're a married dad, a single dad, a divorced dad, a working dad, an unemployed dad, a dad that is earning millions, a dad that is earning not so much as millions. Any kind of dad, we are here for you. So even though we're very real on this platform, we know there are dads who have, they're divorced, they're no longer with their spouse, but you're still a faithful dad. You can still be a faithful dad. You still should be and continue to be a faithful dad, even though you may no longer be with your, the wife, your ex-wife, or, the mother of your children. So we also want to make sure that all dads are welcome. Doesn't matter your status, you are welcome. Anybody who calls you dad, you are welcome. This is for you. And if you're soon to be dad, we have some soon to be dads on our platform. This is also for you because then you can prepare yourself for what's coming, the kind of dad you need to be for your children. And of course, our anchor scripture always is in Malachi 4:6, where it says, turn the hearts of the fathers to the children and the hearts of the children to the fathers, lest I come back and smite the land. So that's always our foundational scripture for this platform, for Amazing Parenting. So let's get straight into today's conference. Dad, a faithful man. So you're faithful in what you do, in what you say, and how you behave. That's who you need to be as a faithful dad. With what you do, what you say, and how you behave. That's where you need to be faithful. So it doesn't matter, like we said, doesn't matter how old your children are. If somebody is calling you dad, somebody soon will be calling you dad, you need to be faithful. And that's what we're going to be looking at today, faithful. So we're going to take the word faithful. And like I said, I want this to be really interactive. So put your comments in. We're going to take the word faithful, and each letter of the word faithful, we're going to bring out some attributes from those words. So the first letter of faithful is F. So put in the comments, what do you think I've started the word faithful with? What does the first F in faithful stand for? Put it in the comments, type it in the comments, and I will let you know what I have used as the first word in faithful. The first F in faithful. So put it in the comments. What do you think the first F in faithful is for? As a faithful man, as a faithful dad, what do you think the first F should be in faithful? And while you're doing it, I'll just give you a little bit of background of Amazing Dads. In the last 10, 20, 30 years, women have been really encouraged and, pushed to the fore. Women have been bigged up. Women have been empowered. And I go to a lot of women's conferences. I go to a lot of, mums conferences, and they're great. They are needed and they should continue. But one day I came home from one of those conferences and I was sort of talking to myself and praying, as you do. And I was saying, women are getting empowered and built up, and they're coming home to their husbands or to their men. Who are they being built up? Who's talking to the men? Who's talking to the dads? And a still small voice said to me, you talk to them. You have something to say to them. And I was like, me? What am I going to say to dads? And that's how Amazing Dads was born. That's how Amazing Dads was formed. And there are lots of platforms for men out there. We know there's organizations and ministries that are for men, and that's fantastic. But what Amazing Parenting wants to hone in on is the dads, not just the men. Because when you were a dad, there's certain things that you carry, there's certain weights that you have as a dad that you may have nowhere to talk about. You may have no other platform where you can, talk about things that you are facing as a dad, or hear, things about how to be a better dad or triumphant dad, or areas that you need to, step up in, or also to be encouraged in. You are already doing a great job, but nobody's telling you. That's how Amazing Dads was born and created. So that's why Amazing Dads is here today. Okay, so what does the first F in faithful, what does it stand for? What have we been getting in here? So a few people have been putting fruitful. Wow, yes, fruitful. Father, family, fantastic, brilliant F's, absolutely fantastic. So the F that I have used, and you might be thinking, but when I read to you what it means, what it stands for, and how you can bring that and display that in your fatherhood journey, it will begin to make sense. And as you're listening to all of the attributes of faithful, every letter that we go through, every word that we go through, I want you to compound that with the word you've heard before, so you get a full picture of a faithful dad. So the F that I've used for the first F in faithful is fervent. You might be thinking, fervent? We normally hear the word fervent when we're talking about prayer. Oh, pray fervently, be fervent in prayer. But I wanted to use the word fervent and think about that as a dad. And when you hear the definition of fervent, let me read it to you. Fervent describes having or displaying passionate intensity, deep sincerity, and unwavering enthusiasm. Let that just land for a minute. When was you last passionate about your children? Openly, physically. When was the last time you were sincere? When was the last time you was enthusiastic about your children? Maybe what they've done, what they've achieved. Sometimes it's easy when our children are little, because they are very, loud and excitable. It's easy to be enthusiastic with them. But what about if your children are in their 20s, in their 30s? When was the last time you showed them enthusiasm? When was the last time you showed them how passionate you are towards them? When was the last time you was fervent as a dad towards your children? So I really want us to really think about these attributes and think about yourself. Am I fervent with my children? Am I passionate with my children? These are not necessarily words we normally put together when we're thinking about fatherhood. But to be faithful, there are certain attributes dads need to be displaying, dads need to have. And being fervent is one of those words to be when you are showing your faithfulness to your children. Being fervent. So I'll read that again. Being fervent means to display a passionate intensity. Can you hear that? Passionate intensity. When was the last time you was passionate and it had that intensity towards your children? Deep sincerity. Unwavering enthusiasm. When was the last time? We've just entered June. The first few days in June, have you shown enthusiasm? We're halfway through the year 2026. Have you shown enthusiasm in the last 6 months towards your children? As dads, these are the things you need to be thinking about. These are the things we need to be putting in our, our arsenal of things that we need to be as dads. So that's F. Let's look at the second letter, A. What do you think A is in faithful? The word faithful, the second letter in faithful is A. What do you think the A stands for? What do you think the A stands for? Or what I have put the A. A can mean lots of things. Like we've seen for F, we had father, we had fruitful, fantastic. What do you think the A is? What we've put the A standing for. So we've had family, that was all for father. Let's put some things in. What do you think the word A stands for in faithful? Let's give you a few seconds to put the A. What do you think the A stands for in faithful? Affirmation, approachable, fantastic, brilliant, excellent, brilliant, yes, send in the likes, let the likes be coming in, continue to share, excellent, fantastic, authentic, yes, amen, hallelujah, absolutely. So again, the A that I've used for faithful, you may be thinking, why has she used that? Why has she used that word for faithful? But again, when we look at the meaning behind the word, you will then pick out the attributes you need to be showing and displaying to your children as a dad. And the word I've chosen for the second letter in faithful is amiable. Okay? Amiable, yes, amiable. Now listen to what amiable means. Okay, we're still getting in some words. Amazing, affectionate, absolutely, fantastic. So amiable, what does amiable mean? This is what amiable means. Someone who is friendly, pleasant and easy to like. Used to portray a warm, good-natured disposition that makes a person approachable and pleasant to be around. Did you hear the attributes of amiable? Dad, is this you? I'll read it again. Friendly. Now, I've spoken about friendly and being your child's friend in other videos, and I'm always talking to parents about being your child's friend. It's not about being your child's friend. We shouldn't be our child's friend, but we must be friendly. We must be friendly, but we're not our child's friend. We should be friendly. So here are the attributes of amiable: friendly, pleasant, easy to like. Dad, are you easy to like? Not love. I hear, people and children say they love their dad, but they don't like him. They don't like the way he behaves. They don't like the way he is. They love him because he's their dad. So are you likable? Are you easy to be liked? Or are you always frowning? You're always annoyed. You're always upset. Are you likable? Do you have a warm, good nature? Not that you sometimes act warm, but is that your disposition? Is that the way you naturally are, warm towards your children? And like we said earlier, that we're talking to all different dads. So we're not talking necessarily warm and affectionate towards your wife or the mother of your children. We're talking about to your children. Are you warm? I always say to dads, your hands should be open and your chest should be soft. Your arms open to hug your children and your chest soft for them to lay their head. Are you warm towards your children? Are you approachable? One of the dads put approachable in the chat. Are you approachable? If your children have a problem, if your children just want to talk about something, are you approachable? Now, I know some of the things we are talking about, some of the things we are saying may be hard hitting. They may hit your spirit, they may hit your heart, thinking, oh God, I need to maybe step up in this area, or I need to do more in this area. Amazing Dads, this platform, we're honest, we're open, we're free. We don't eggshell around anybody. We don't, pussyfoot around anybody. We keep things real, because dads need to know the weight of what they're carrying, the importance of what they're carrying. So we can't afford to be eggshelly and not say things because, certain men may feel, embarrassed or, not like it. Listen to what is being said here and just put it to yourself. Put it to yourself. Am I approachable as dad? If I were to take your children and put them in a room, keep you in another room, and interview your children, would they say you are approachable? Would they say you are friendly? Would they say that is your natural disposition to be warm? Because sometimes as men, you think being warm means being weak, and it doesn't. It doesn't. When you're being warm towards your children, it doesn't mean you are being weak, or it depletes your authority as a dad. It doesn't. It doesn't. So, are you approachable as dad? So let's go through those again. For amiable, the A in faithful is amiable. Are you friendly? Are you pleasant? Are you easy to like? Do you have a good nature? Are you warm? Are you approachable? Think about those things. And if you want to put it in the comments and say, yes, I'm a dad who is approachable. Wonderful. Put it in the comments. Let's see. Let's hear. Okay. The second or the third word in faithful is I. Let's put in the comments, what do we think I should stand for in faithful? As a faithful dad, as a faithful man, what should the I stand for? Let's see them in the comments. We've had, the F, we've had the A now. Let's have the I in faithful. What does I stand for? Yes, we're getting comments coming. Please keep your comments coming in. Let's keep this as, interactive as possible. I know we'll go through at the end, we'll answer questions, but let's, even while we're going through the conference, let's keep this as interactive as possible. So what does the I stand for in faithful? When we're talking about a faithful man, a faithful dad, you're a faithful dad. What does the I stand for? We have inspirational. Look at that. Every dad needs to be inspirational. Wonderful, wonderful. What else do we have? What else do we have? Inspirational. Yes, inspiration is a great word. Every dad needs to be inspirational. If you're not if you're not inspiring your children, who are you inspiring? Who is looking up to you if your children are not looking up to you? So inspirational, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, inspirational. Inspiration, yes, inspiration, yes, absolutely. So the I that I have used for the I in faithful, that I believe dads need to have and display and show, is intentional. Dads need to be intentional. What do we mean by that? Let's go for what it means and then we'll expound. So it describes an action that is done deliberately, consciously, or on purpose, rather than by accident or just by mistake. So let's now bring that word into being a dad. When was the last time you was intentional with your children? And I'm not talking about intentional as in the things you need to be doing, the school run, putting them to bed, paying the mortgage, doing shopping, bringing them the food. What are you doing with your children intentionally? That you have said to yourself, I am intentionally going to do this with my son. I'm going to be on purpose and do this with my daughter. Let's use the same breadth of time that we used before. We are a few days into June. How many times have you been intentional with your children? We're 6 months in to this year. How many times in the last 6 months have you been intentional? Great to be inspirational, wonderful. But when did you take time to say, you know what, on this matter, regarding my children, I'm going to be intentional. Every week, I'm going to intentionally take them out. Every month, we're going to do this. Every other month, we're going to do A, B, and C. When was the last time you put in your calendar, on your phone, intentionally put your children's name there? I'm going to be doing this with my children on the 15th of June, on the 26th of May, on the 18th of August. When was the last time you put something in your diary for your children intentionally? Yes, interesting. Wonderful. Great words coming in. When was the last time? Put it in the comments as well. Well, have you been intentional with your children this month or in the past 6 months? Or when was the last time? Or is it something that you've not really thought about? Or you've thought about it, but I ain't got time, I'm busy at it. And I say this to parents all of the time. We have a window of opportunity with our children. Once that window closes, the time is gone. Either they've left home or they've gone to uni or they've got married, or once that window closes, the time to be intentional with them will become even more scarce. So while your children are still living under your roof, and for those of you whose children have moved out, make an intentional effort to do something with them. If your children are very young, they're still in primary school, secondary school, make an effort to do something with them intentionally. It doesn't have to be every day. We know what our schedules are like. As a dad, you're going to work, you're in the dad's group, you're leader in church, you've got projects that you want to execute, you've got plans that you want to bring out. So time is tight, we know. But for you as a dad to be intentional, that has to be incorporated into your schedule. It has to be part and parcel of your normal schedule. It can't be, like we said in the description, accidental or by mistake. So, oh yeah, let's, family comes from abroad, then everybody goes to the park. But what are you doing with your children that's intentional now? So let's think about that. Let's really put that into perspective. What are you doing with your children intentionally? While we're going through the conference, have your phone or your notepad next to you and think about, I need to add that to what I'm doing as a dad. I need to step up more with that as a dad. Or I'm doing that. I've got that down pack already. What are you doing that's intentional? Okay. So we've had some more words coming in our chat. Intellectual, wonderful. Yes, intellectual. We want our dads to be intelligent. We want you to pass down some knowledge that you have to the children. Intellectual, clever. Yes, absolutely. So, what is the T? What does the T stand for in faithful? What does the T stand for in faithful? What can the T stand for? Tolerant. Fantastic. If you're not tolerant as a dad, oh my goodness. We need to pray for your children. Trustworthy. Absolutely. Your word is your bond. If you tell your children something, you will follow through. They can trust you. They can trust their dad. Absolutely. Some more T's. What does T stand for? We've got some more T's. You're doing really well, dads. Let's bring in some more comments on the platform. We've got tolerant, we've got trustworthy. There were so many different words that were coming into my head when I was, planning what we were going to talk about. And so I really picked out these letters in the word faithful to really expound on and talk about. So we have teachable, teacher. Yes, 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 yes. You should be teaching your children. Don't leave teaching to school, to the educational system. They're fantastic. Schools are great. Absolutely. Nobody's knocking schools. But you as dad need to be sitting your children down and teaching them, even if it's life lessons, even if it's to cook, even if it's about your life, what you've been through, what you've done. Teach your child something. Again, if I were to interview your children, have them in one room, have you in another room, and ask your children, this past 6 months, January to June, what has your dad taught you? What would they say? Would they say nothing? Would they say my dad doesn't teach me anything anytime? What would your children say? What are you teaching your children? If you are a man of faith, when was the last time you opened the Bible with your children? If there's certain things that you like to do, when was the last time you did it with your children? You taught your children about that thing. When was the last time you taught your children about the thing you are passionate about? Do your children even know what you're passionate about? What your passion is? Have you taught them? It doesn't have to be a life-changing lesson, but just something that you can teach, something that you can pass down to your children. So we've got teamwork, thankful, yes, thankful, well done, well done, well done, thankful. We have to be thankful. And that's the T that I've used in the word faithful, thankful. We have to be thankful. Sometimes we want our children to achieve. We want them to do so much. We want them to be, doing A, B, and C. But are we thankful? Even if they don't achieve what it was we wanted them to achieve, are we thankful for the effort that they've put in? I did another video on this. I don't know if it's already uploaded or it's coming. The effort that your children have put into something, have you shown gratitude? Are you thankful? Are you thankful for your children? Are you always on their case? Stop it. Come back. Sit down. Shut up. When was the last time you said thank you to your children? When was the last time you thanked your child for something? They brought you something. They brought you water. They brought you your food. They took your plate to the kitchen. When was the last time you was thankful? When was the last time? So let's look at the word thankful and what it means. It means feeling or expressing gratitude and appreciation. When was the last time you was appreciative towards your children to the point that your children recognized you was appreciative? Not this thank you in passing. Well done. Well done. Thank you. But you was again intentional about your thanks, your thank you to them, intentional about your gratitude to them. When was the last time? When was the last time you said thank you wholeheartedly? Thank you to your children, whether they're little, whether they're older. They've done something that, maybe wasn't up to the standard you wanted. And so you didn't say thank you. You didn't show appreciation. When what you should have been doing is even the effort that the child displayed, that should have brought gratitude to you. That should have made you feel, I'm grateful for my child for that. You was expecting your child to get A. They got C. Why wasn't you thankful that they didn't get D? Why wasn't you thankful that they even sat the exams? I remember when my son was doing his exams, this is many years ago now. At that time, when he was doing his GCSEs, there was a lot of, knife crime going on in London at the time. And it still is going on, unfortunately. But at the time, there was a lot of it going on. And when he brought his results, I remember taking the paper, after we talked and I took the paper, the exam results to my bedroom, and I was just using it as thanksgiving. I was just using the exam results as thanksgiving. That my son wasn't caught up in what was going on in London. I wasn't a mum who was in sorrow, who was in pain because their son had killed somebody or their son was in the mortuary. I used that exam result paper to give thanks. I used it as a wave offering, as a thank you. So let's be mindful of being thankful for our children. You may be, have one child and you want another child, it's not coming yet. Be thankful for the one. You may want children yet, but they're not coming. Be thankful that you've even got a spouse. Be thankful. When your children do or say something that pleases you, be thankful. Show that gratitude. Show that you're pleased. It's innate. The children may not say it, they won't be able to say it, but it is innate. It's God-given inside children to want to make us proud, to want to make us happy, to want to please us. So when we show that gratitude, when we say thank you, when we show them that we are pleased, when we show them that we are proud of what they've done, they begin to do more of it. It builds their self-esteem. It builds their courage. It builds who they are, their personality. Just by being thankful, just by being grateful for what your child has done or achieved or even wants to achieve. Sometimes, with ours, we write our yearly goals. Be thankful that they even have something that they are aspiring to. They may not yet have reached it, but they are aspiring to something. They are aspiring to be better than they are right now. Be thankful. Be grateful. Because there are many children out there who are not aspiring to nothing. They're not aspiring to go nowhere, to be anybody better than what they are now. Many children. Many children have dropped out of school. Many children are not achieving, not even academically, not achieving, full stop. Because there's no one in their lives to be grateful for them. No one in their lives to say, thank you. I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate your efforts. Now, I'm not saying if you're not thankful to your children are going to go astray. That's not what I'm saying. But what we're saying here is to be faithful, to be a faithful dad, you need to be grateful. You need to have that air of gratitude to and for your children, to and for your family. Be grateful. I uploaded a video on children being grateful, but it's across the board. It's not just children being grateful. We as parents, society in a whole, somebody gives you something or you give something, thank you is scarce. And then what are we teaching our children if we ourselves are not thankful? We ourselves are not showing gratitude. We're not showing that we are pleased with what's going on in their lives. So it's important. Togetherness, yes, with some more T's coming in. Teacher, trustworthy, thankful, teamwork, togetherness. This is awesome. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we need to be grateful and thankful for our children. Let's not gloss over, what they're doing. Let's not think, well, that's what they're supposed to do. And it's very easy to slip into that mode of that they're supposed to do that. That's what they're supposed to do. If none of us got a thank you because of what we were supposed to do, who would be getting thank you? Who would get a thank you from anybody if we only thanked each other for the big, massive things that were done? So we have to make sure we don't slip into that mode of he's supposed to do that. And I mean, sometimes me and my husband, we joke, and when he does something, I'll say to him, that's your reasonable service. That's what you're supposed to do, but we joke with that. But even if something that your child is supposed to do, thank you, thank them. And sometimes we forget. They do something and we see it, but they're in their room, they're downstairs, we're out, we're in, and we forget. But when we remember, say thank you. Say thank you. Say thank you. So more notes coming in. Giving compliments to your children goes a long way. Do you know how children are built up by hearing compliments from their parents? If I could do a graph or a picture of how a child's heart looks when they receive compliments from their parents, you'd be giving compliments every day, because it so bigs them up, it so encourages them, it so lifts their confidence, their self-esteem, by giving them a compliment. Your children are beautiful. Me and my husband went somewhere the other day, and they wanted to see pictures of my children because I hadn't seen them for so long. And they, saw pictures of my children, and I know I'm biased, but my children are really stunning. They're really good looking, and so this person was saying how good looking, my children are. And yeah, absolutely. So even us as parents, we need to remind ourselves to compliment our children. Even though they're good looking, even though they're stunning, even though they're handsome, say it. They get dressed up to go to church. They get dressed up to go to work. They get dressed up to tell them they look nice. Tell them that the shape up is looking good. The hair is on point. The outfit. Let's compliment our children. Let's make that hand in hand. We're complimenting. We're thanking. We are appreciative of our children. Because as we do that, they too will be doing it back to you as well. But also, it's a lifestyle that they will carry on when they have children, to be grateful, to be thankful. So it's really important that we are really thankful for our children, that we are showing them gratitude. We are showing them that feeling of, I'm proud that you're my son. I'm proud that you're my daughter. With all of what you've done, you've come this far. Look how far you've come. I'm proud. I'm grateful. So let's really add all of these things to our arsenal of attributes as a dad, because it's important. It's important. Let's move on. So like I said, every word that we are saying, add it to the word before. Add it to the word before. So far we've had fervent for the F in faithful. So let's just go ahead and what was faithful for? What does faithful mean? It means you are displaying passionate intensity, deep sincerity, and unwavering enthusiasm. That's the F in faithful, just in case you've just logged on. The A in faithful is amiable. Amiable. What does amiable mean? It means you are friendly, you are pleasant, you are easy to like. You're not always frowning and grimace and annoyed and, against life. You are friendly, you are easy to like. You are warm. Remember the open arms and the soft chest? You are warm. Being warm doesn't mean you are weak. So you're being warm, you're good natured. That is your normal disposition. You are good natured and you are approachable. You are approachable and pleasant to be around. That was amiable. That was the A in faithful. And so to be faithful, you need to have these attributes, part of your natural makeup as a dad. So then we went to I. What was I? What did I stand for? We had some great comments in for I. Inspirational, wonderful. What I've used is intentional. And what does intentional mean? It means an action which is done deliberately, consciously, or on purpose, rather than by accident or by mistake. Are you intentional with your children? When was the last time you was intentional with your children? Do you put your children's name in your calendar and say, on this date, me and my son are going to do this. At this time, I'm taking my daughter to here. I'm doing this with my children. Do you add your children intentionally to your schedule, your busy schedule? Do you add your children? Are you intentional as a dad with your children? And then we looked at faithful, which we've just done just now. But again, I'll read it. Being thankful is expressing gratitude and appreciation. Like we said, it is important that we are thankful for our children, thankful, grateful for our children. And then the next word we're looking at is H, the H in faithful. What does the H in faithful stand for? Put it in the comments. Let's see what faithful. We're going to get some lovely comments like the word amiable. Absolutely fantastic. What does the letter H stand for in faithful? There's an H in faithful. What does it stand for? So we have hospitable, beautiful, hospitable. Thank you so much for that. Honesty. Yes, dads need to be honest. Dads need to be hospitable. These are words that you don't necessarily equate with being a dad, but they are needed. These are areas that you need to be the dad, pushing yourself into those areas, being more like this. Why? Because you're showing your children how to behave. Remember at the beginning we said, it's what you do, it's what you say, and it's how you behave. That's the faithful. That's what you're faithful in. So being honest, humble, humility. How many humble dads? I know all the dads on Amazing Dads platform, you're all humble. Absolutely. Yes. Yes, you are. I can vouch for you. You are. But how many dads are not humble? How many dads are not humble? Honor. 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 These are words that we're typing on the screen, but these are words that we have to imbibe. These are words that we have to display, we have to show to our children. These are words that we need to be acting out in the lives of our families, in the lives of our children. Hugging. How many times have you hugged your children this year? I know it's easy to hug your children if they're really small because they hug you right back. They're cute, they're lovely, and you just hug them all the time. But your son who's in his 30s, your daughter who's in her 20s, when was the last time you hugged her? Just that's that kind of a dad squeeze. A dad squeeze. You know, my dad is no longer, around. He passed away some years ago now. What I would give to have a squeeze from my dad. Squeeze your children. Hug them. Hug them. You can never hug your children too much. You can never hug your children too much. So yes, hugging is important. Honorable, yes, honorable. Well done, honorable, helpful, absolutely brilliant. We need to be helpful. Your children are in need. Help them. Don't let them struggle through life. Yes, there are times we need to, make our children, resilient. But when they need help them. Help them. Happy. Yes, we spoke about that. Are you a grimace kind of dad? Are you frowning all the time? Are you annoyed all the time? Are you against life? or are you happy? Are you showing, that you're happy? You have a happy disposition. Is that you as a dad? Are you happy? These are fantastic words for 8. So we have hospitable, we have honesty, we have humble, we have humility, we have honor, we have hugging, we have honorable, we have helpful, we have happy, we have homely. Oh, homely. Are you homely? Or every opportunity you get, you're out. I'm going with the boys. I'm going to the group. I'm going. Are you homely? When your children are home, are you home? When you're not at work and your children are home, are you home? Are you homely? Wonderful. Absolutely. Brilliant. All of them are coming in now. Humble, hugging, honesty, helpful, happy, hospitable. Brilliant. Fortunately, I'm a hugger. Brilliant. And you do it all the time. Listen, a huggy dad is not a soft dad. He's not a weak dad. He's not a doormat dad. Absolutely not. A huggy dad is a blessed dad. Is a dad that is needed. Our very first conference was Dad, you are needed. Dads who hug their children. Because let's look at it, let's face it. If you are not hugging your children, who is? Who is? Who are your children? Whose arms are they falling into? Because they're craving that hug. Their level, their tank of hugs is depleted. Who are they going to? Where are they going to for a hug if you're not hugging them? We said this before in another conference, I think last year or the year before, that we need to be, as dads, we need to be that place where our children can come and just be free, just be able to be themselves. If our children cannot cry in front of their dad because their dad has told them, boys don't cry, men don't cry, you're soft, you're weak, if you cry. If your child cannot cry with you or in front of you, where can they go to cry? Who are they crying to? Because if you think for 1 second your child is not crying or hasn't cried or will not cry, you're mistaken. You're mistaken. So who are they going to when they need that hug, when they need to just take all the masks off, when they need to just be them? They're not, trying to gain anybody's approval. They're just being who they are and receiving that hug. If you haven't hugged your child this month, this June, when we finish this conference, go to your child. As a dad, go to your child and hug them. If they've already moved out, make an appointment to go and see them and hug them. If they've already, gone to uni, make a point, go to uni, go and hug them. Yes, hug them. Hug your children. So the H that we've used is, and somebody has said it, honorable. Honorable. The H in faithful is honorable. You cannot be faithful without being honorable. The two go hand in hand. Honorable. Let's look at what it means to be honorable, and then we'll expound on it. Honorable is an adjective used to describe someone or something that acts with high moral standards. I just want that to land. High moral standards. We continue. Honesty and integrity. That's honorable. Are you honorable concerning your children? This past month, have you shown honor to your children? Have you been honorable? Like we said, we know all the dads here are honorable, but think of your friends, family members, co-workers, neighbors. who are men, do they have a high moral standard? A high moral standard. Are they honest? Do they have integrity? If more men were honorable, my goodness, the headache that women are carrying, the distress that mums are carrying will be alleviated overnight, would disappear overnight if more men were honorable. If more men had that high standard. And I'm not talking high standard in, in material things. You drive the best car, you live in the biggest, that's not what I'm talking about. But your standards, your disposition, your moral standing is high. Listen, you can look like, who can I say now, Hunchback of Notre Dame. But if you are honorable, you are attractive. Why? Because being honorable is scarce nowadays. It's scarce. Who's honorable? When I was writing this out, writing my notes, I thought to myself, being honorable, I came up with this, being honorable is a commodity that is not common. Being honorable is a commodity that is not common. When you are honorable, you are sought after. When you are honorable, you are attractive. Not just, to look at, to be with, but you are attractive on every level. In the workplace, who's not looking for people who are honorable? In the family, which woman doesn't want an honorable man? In the community, who doesn't want somebody who's honorable in the community? In society, whether you're working or unemployed, you have your own business, honorable is what is needed. If more dads were honorable, and I mean really having that high moral standing, do you think the prisons would be as full as they are? And we know there are women prisons, we know there's women prisons, but the percentage of women in prison to men in prison, the difference is clear. So if we had more honorable dads, honorable men, look how the landscape of society will dramatically change for the better. Because more men will be honorable. More men would have that high standard. So when we're looking at being honorable and we're putting that into your fatherhood journey, what does that look like for you as a dad? What does that look like for you? In whatever, level you're at. What does honorable look like for you? I'm sure while I'm talking, you can think of men that you know who are not honorable. Men that you know don't have high standards, and their dads. It's imperative. It's paramount that as dads, you have a high standard. Why? Because the children that you're bringing up, or the children that you will be bringing into this world, they're watching, they're listening, they're learning. Too many dads, too many men don't have the character to be honorable. No standards. Anything goes. They want to steal something, they steal something. They want to run off with somebody else. They want that level of honor. We need to have it. We need to have it. And all these attributes that we are bringing, don't let it just be on this platform. Talk about these in your dad's groups. Talk about groups. Talk about this in your church gathering. Talk about this in your small groups. Talk about this one-on-one. You might not belong to any group, but talk about this one-on-one with other dads. These qualities that we are bringing out. And hold yourselves accountable to each other. That, bro, if you see me acting funny, call my attention. Call my attention. Don't let me just go astray because I'm stressed with life. Because that's what happens. You think all the men in prison, that's where they wanted to end up? All those mums that held their their son in their arms, did they say you're going to go to prison? No. But because of the pressure that men are under, the weight men are carrying pushes them to areas that they wouldn't normally enter, they wouldn't normally encounter. So be accountable to each other as men, as dads. Have other men who can that you either you look up to, or they're on the same level as you that you can talk to. Let's take off these, masks that sometimes dads wear because, this bravado, this macho, this, let's take all that off. We as wives, we as mothers, that's what we need. Honorable men. Men whose word is their bond. Men who speak, we as wives can take it to the bank. Honorable on every level. It makes you attractive. It makes you wanted. It makes you sought after as a dad when you are honorable. When you are honorable. So we've got about half an hour left, so I don't want to go into take off too much people's time. But I really want to hone in these attributes that we have been talking about, these attributes that we need as dads. We as mums, we need to see these attributes in you for the sake of our children. Like I said, that window, as your children get older and they're soon to be leaving home, that window is narrowing. That window is closing. And it doesn't mean when the window is closed, there's no hope. Of course, when the window closes, there's hope, but it takes more effort once the window is closed. It takes more energy once the window is closed. So while that window of opportunity is open to be all of these attributes that we are talking about, let's maximize that open window. Let's be honorable. Let's be amiable. Let's be fervent. Let's be thankful for our children. Let's show these attributes in our homes, with our children, with our families. Okay, so we continue. So this is the second F in faithful. What do you think the second F in faithful is, or should be, or could be? F. What is the second F in faithful? What does it stand for? Again, let's put some words in the chat. What you think the word faithful is. Thank you for all the wonderful comments, by the way. It's really encouraging to me. It bigs me up. It makes me feel like, what we're doing here is worthwhile. What we're doing here is needed. What we're doing here is appreciated. So thank you for all the comments, and please keep the comments going. Once we turn off today, make sure you send this broadcast out to as many dads as you know. Don't think, well, this dad might not. Send it to him. Send this broadcast, this platform, this video, this conference to every single dad you know. Let's make this a community of dads that have that high standard, that are fervent, that are thankful, that are amiable. Let's have these standards for our dads. Let's make it the norm. Let's make it part of who we are with all these attributes for dads. Okay, so we have F, funny. Oh my goodness, you've got to be funny as a dad. You've got to be laughing with your children. You've got to be laughing with your children. Friendly, yes, we had that before. Friendly, that was part of being amiable. You need to be friendly, not your child's friend. Yeah, you're not your child's friend. They have a playground full of friends, a community full of friends, but they only have 2 parents. So you can't afford to be your child's friend, but you've got to be friendly. So we have financially sensible. Need I say more? Financially sensible. Wonderful. Focused. Yes, focus. You have to be focused. Are you focused on your children? Are you flexible? Or are you just rigid? It's my way or the no way, or the highway. My way or no way. Are you flexible where you can be? It's not everything that you give into. That's not what we're talking about. But are you flexible? My husband always says, "I'm flexible. I'm flexible. We can do this or we can do that. I'm flexible." That's his saying. Are you flexible as a dad? Are you flexible? Flexible doesn't mean you give in to whatever is happening or you back down from whatever is happening because you want to be flexible. No, that's not what flexible means. But if things need to change, if things need to happen, are you flexible or are you rigid? Are you rigid? Are you like, nope, I've said it's like this and we're not moving. And we're really, things need to change because times have changed or the situation has changed or the circumstance has adjusted. So we need to be flexible. So brilliant. Family oriented. Family oriented. My God, if more dads were family oriented, and I know, like we said before, dads are busy, you're working, you need to bring money to the table. If you don't bring money, your wife will be the first person to be worried. So, yes, but you have to be family first. Family has to come first. Family needs to come first. Like we talked about being intentional, putting your children's names in the calendar to do things. You need to have family first. You've arranged to do something with your family, and all of a sudden a shift has come where you could earn a bonus, or you could earn twice as much, or you could really be on good terms with the boss. But you've already made plans for your family. Family first. Family oriented. It may mean you have to go back to whoever it is that has offered whatever and say, look, you know what? I've already made plans with my children. I've already made plans with my family. I won't be able to do it this time, but next time, give me more notice and maybe. But family oriented, absolutely. Fantastic father. Yes. Fantastic father. You need to be a fantastic father. Absolutely. Forgiving. Yay. I think that's Pastor Tunde. Yes. Forgiving. You must be forgiving. You can't, as a dad, be holding grudges against your children. And I know sometimes our children do things that really grate against us, really rile us, really annoy us. But when we're carrying that grievance, that annoyance into the next day, the next day, the next day, the next week, the next year, Dad, something is wrong. We have to be forgiving. We have to be forgiving. And that's the word I've used for being faithful as a dad. So to be faithful, you need to have all of these attributes that we are talking about. And what I've used for the word faithful, the second F in faithful, is forgiving. Now, I speak to lots of dads, this is what I do. And so I speak to dads who have grievances against their parents. I remember working with a dad, knowing a dad who his stepdad wasn't good to him when he was a child. And he's grown up to a well mature man now, holding that grievance of what his stepdad did and how his stepdad treated him. What we have to think of and what we have to look at, and we're not saying that it's easy by any stretch of the imagination, but forgiveness is not just for you, or it's not just the other person, it's for you. It's for you. You might be thinking, they don't deserve my forgiveness. They don't deserve what they did, doesn't deserve forgiving. But we have to turn that table and look at it. Do I deserve forgiving? Do I deserve forgiveness? Let's look at what forgiveness means, what we put, and then we'll expound more. Describe someone or something that is tolerant, merciful, or accommodating. Being forgiving. We have to forgive. And especially if you are a Christian, you're a person of faith, you're a dad of faith. Forgiveness is part of our makeup. We don't have a choice when it comes to, forgiving someone, even especially if it's our children. I speak to dads who are estranged from their children because of what has gone on. Things have happened in the past, things have gone wrong, things have not gone according to plan. And because of that, they are estranged from their children. They don't have that closeness anymore from their children. And that bitterness and that anger and that unforgiveness has begun to fester. And months has gone by, weeks has gone by. For some dads, years has gone by and they've not spoken to their adult child. For whatever reason, they're blaming their ex-wife, they're blaming the situation, they're blaming the system that removed the children possibly. And so they're holding that unforgiveness. If you are a dad listening to me right here, right now, or you will listen later on, and you have somebody that you have not forgiven, whether it's your child, whether it's your parents, even if your parents are no longer alive and you've held that grudge against them, forgive them. Make a point of releasing them from your heart. It will do you good more than it will do them. And the thing is, when time passes, whoever has hurt you, they get on with their life. Whoever has disappointed you, whoever who has abused you, they get on with their life. It's you that is holding the bitterness, you that's holding the unforgiveness. They're enjoying their lives, they're going on holiday. But once you forgive them, once you release them, you yourself will begin to find that freedom and that ease in your own life. Forgiveness is something that we have to administer. We have to freely give, especially if it is our children. No matter what has happened. And we said in the beginning, you might be a dad who is divorced. You're no longer with your children's mum. And because of that, there's been, controversial things going on between you and your children. And you've not spoken for a long time. Today, dads, today, break that cycle. If you don't have the courage or the wherewithal to make a phone call, send a text. Send a text. You might be saying, well, it was their fault. They're the reason why I'm not forgiving them. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Send a text. Send a text. Send a letter. Send a card, whichever way you want to do it. It doesn't matter about the fault. Because if that person who you are not forgiving passes away, how would you feel that you didn't forgive them? How would you feel that you could have had opportunity to forgive them, to release them, and you didn't? How would you feel not forgiving somebody that you didn't get a chance to forgive them? As dads, we can't afford, it's an added burden. You're already carrying so much as a dad. Why would you want to carry unforgiveness? Why would you want to add that to the load? Why would you want to add that to your already heavy load that you're carrying? You're carrying wife, you're carrying children, you're carrying job, you're carrying plans, you're carrying, projects, and you want to carry unforgiveness. We must forgive. We must forgive. We must make it part of us. In fact, what I say even to myself is I forgive in advance. Before you offend me, before you upset me, I forgive you in advance. Because I've got too much going on. I've got too much I'm carrying to be carrying burden and unforgiveness in my heart. I might be annoyed with you and I might tell you, you've annoyed me, you've upset me. But as for the forgiveness side of it, oh, no, I can't hold it. So let's forgive. Let's look at forgiveness again. So forgiveness is someone that is tolerant and merciful. Like we said before, the person may not deserve your forgiveness, but be merciful because you will need mercy. Your son will need mercy. Your daughter will need someone to be merciful towards her. We must think, not just for ourselves, but across the board. We must think generationally. If I'm not forgiving to a person, that person you are holding in unforgiveness is somebody's child, no matter how old they are. So if your child does something wrong to somebody, don't they deserve forgiveness? Don't they deserve mercy? Doesn't your son deserve mercy? So let's take on the you know the understanding of being forgiving. We're not saying it's easy. They've done something to just forgive them. It's fine. Just no. We understand forgiveness is a process. You've got to just start just saying it, even if you're just saying it by yourself. I forgive, and you put the person's name there. You might have to build up to it, but by all means, build up to it. Get there and forgive them. Okay. So forgiving, we've had some wonderful words. Faithful, fellowship. Yes, and that's what we talked about earlier about having the fellowship. Speak to other dads. Have a fellowship with other dads. That's what Amazing Dads is. And if you want to be part of Amazing Dads, you can. Just send me an email, or my information is in the link below. Send me an email. I'll add you to Amazing Dads. And it's not just that I just send out, messages to the dads of encouragement. I pray for the dads. I pray for the dads because I know what they're carrying. I know what they're carrying. I was brought up by a single dad. The majority of my childhood was brought up by my dad. So I know the weight that dads carry. And I think that's why I have such a passion for dads. So if you want to be a part of Amazing Dads, it's free to join. It's free. There's no, you have to pay this. No. If you want to be a member of Amazing Dads, you don't have to take part. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to just send me a note that you want to be an Amazing Dads, and I'll add you. Or if you know a dad that needs to be an Amazing Dads, send me his details and I'll add him. Okay, so for faithful, the word faithful, the second F in faithful is forgiving. You must be forgiving as a dad. Okay, the U in faithful. Put in the chat what you think you is. Oh, we've already got one. Understanding. Yes, brilliant. Understanding. Fantastic. That's my wonderful blessed husband. Understanding. Who is he? Is very understanding. Yes, more understandings. Fantastic. Put them in the chat. What does the U stand for in faithful? What does the U stand for? What does the U stand for? Let's put some unique. Wow. Yes, dads, you are unique. You are unique. You are uniquely unique. That's why you are a dad. You are uniquely unique. Unassuming. Pastor Tunde again. I think you're reading my notes. I think you can see through the camera or something. I don't know. Unassuming. Upright. Wonderful. Wonderful. Unassuming again. Fantastic. Fantastic. Excellent. Excellent. Wonderful. We've got some laughy emojis going on here. Brilliant. Unassuming. So those of you that can see my notes, the U in faithful is unassuming. And what does it mean? We've got something else here. Upstanding. Yes, upstanding. Absolutely. You need to be an upstanding dad. Okay, so I've used the word unassuming, and let's look at what it means. So unassuming means being modest, quiet, and not wanting to draw attention to oneself or one's abilities. Now let's just dissect that a little bit, because when we hear the word quiet, does that mean I need to be a quiet dad? No, it's not quiet as in not talking. But the word unassuming here is you have qualities, you have abilities, you have strength, you have talents, but you're unassuming with it. All those attributes come out when they need to. You're not braggadocious with what you're great at. You're not shouting from the rooftops, I'm the best, marketer. I'm the best IT. I'm the best, but you're unassuming. You have all of these qualities. You have all of these attributes, but you're unassuming. To be a faithful dad, you can't necessarily be, braggadocious and doing big manism and all those kind of things. You need to be unassuming. Your children need to look at you and say, wow, dad. Wow. Maybe when family comes over, you now are able to display one or two, of the things that you're great at. but you're unassuming with it. You're not in people's face. This is what I can do. This is me. This is what I can do. Look at it. You're unassuming. You're quiet, but not necessarily not talking quiet, but you're quiet with your attributes, what you can do. People know that he's got a talent in that. And when it's time for you to display that talent, when it's time for you to show off that gifting, you do it in splendor. You do it in splendor. But when there's time to be quiet and not be showing off what you can do, you're quiet with it. You're quiet with it. So yes, unassuming. We won't dwell too much on them because we're coming to a close now. I want to be able to answer questions. So begin to put your questions in the chat. If you have questions, begin to put them in the chat and I will endeavor to answer them. So the last word, faithful. What is the L in faithful? What is the last letter in faithful? What does the L stand for? What does the L stand for in faithful? I'm sure everybody's going to be writing this in the comments. Faithful. What are you faithful in? Loving. Oh my God. Who doesn't want a loving dad? Loving dad. Learning. You never stop learning. Listen, dads, the moment you stop learning, your life is coming to, learning. You must be learning and learn from your children. Don't think that, back in our day, it was like your dad's, what could you teach your dad? But today, in this 21st century, we must be that amiable dad where we learn from our children. Okay, I didn't know that before. Okay, show me, let me see. Let's be, teachable. Let's be able to learn from our children. Loyal. Yes, it's loyal. Who put loyal again? This Pastor Tunde. I'm sure you can see my notes. I don't know what's going on here. Loyal. Somebody else has put loyal. Yes. Loyal. We must be loyal. Dads, you must be loyal. Yes, put the hearts in the chat. Loyal. And let's look at what loyal means. Loyal describes someone or something as being firm, consistent, and faithful. Even the word faithful in their support or allegiance to a person, organization, or cause. Let me read that again because it was quite front-loading. To be loyal. So this is, put this like we said, every word that we've said for the word faithful, compound it with the word before, because that's what you're going to add to your arsenal of being a dad. Compound all of them, all the words to being faithful, to being a faithful dad. So the last word is L, and the L stands for loyal, as well as all the other things. A lender, amen, lender, not a borrower, lender. So these are the words that we are using that dads need to add to their already, bag of attributes of being a dad. So loyal stands for being firm, constant, faithful, and you're faithful in your support, allegiance to a person, an organization, or to a cause, or to a set of principles. Loyal. You cannot be faithful without being loyal. You have to have loyalty in there. Loyalty has to be part of being faithful. Faithful is weakened if you haven't got loyalty, if you're not a loyal man, if you're not a loyal dad. Being loyal. And look what it's saying, what loyal to a person. So that's to your children, to your wife, to your family, to your organization, to your own business, to who you work for, to a cause. What do you believe in? Are you a man of faith? Are you loyal to the things of God? Are you loyal in the areas that mean something to you? Are you loyal to the set of principles that you follow? Maybe principles of life. Are you loyal to that? As a dad, you cannot afford not to be loyal. You can't afford. Your children are watching you be loyal to them, loyal to them, no matter what goes on in life. No matter what goes on, you are loyal to your children. Your children need you, and they need you to be loyal, not just be there, but be loyal. So being loyal to a person, to an organization, to a cause, and to principles. And what I like here is like it's used the word allegiance. What is your allegiance to? You know, the Americans pledge allegiance to the flag. What do you pledge allegiance to as a dad? Just go through your head right now. What allegiance do you hold? Why do you hold those? Who do you hold allegiance to, and why? Being loyal is an attribute that every man, every dad needs to have. It can't even be something that you can just leave off. I'm not. I'm this, but I'm not really loyal. Loyalty is not my. No, you have to be loyal. You have to be known for being loyal. That when they call your name, they say, yeah, he's a loyal man. He's a loyal dad. He's loyal. He's loyal in what he does. He's loyal to this allegiance. He's loyal to what he believes. The principles that he lives by, he's loyal to them. Loyal. Are you loyal? Are you loyal, Dad? I know we put it in the chats. Yes, I'm loyal. Led. Absolutely led by God, led by the Lord. Are you led by the Lord? Are you loyal to the things of God? If you are a dad of faith, are you loyal? Do your children see you as loyal? If you're married, are you loyal? Does your wife count you as loyal? So these attributes that we've gone through, that stands for faithful, and we'll just read through them. Faithful means you are fervent. Faithful means you are amiable. Faithful means you are intentional. Faithful means you are thankful. Faithful means you are honorable. Faithful means you are forgiving. Faithful means you are unassuming. And faithful means you are loyal. You are loyal. You are loyal to what you stand for, to what you believe, to what you pledge allegiance to. You are loyal. You are loyal. So we've come to the end of the word faithful. We spelled out all the letters. So go ahead and rewind this again and really take your time and listen to the words we have used for you to be a faithful dad, to show yourself faithful as a dad, to show yourself faithful as a dad. So I just want to end, we'll go through, the books that we've got available and what's going on tomorrow and everything, but all dads can be great dads. You who I'm looking at right now, all dads can be great dads. It's a journey and you will get there. You will get there as a great dad, a fervent dad, a thankful dad, a loyal dad, an unassuming dad, a forgiving dad, an honorable dad, an intentional dad, an amiable dad, a fervent dad. That's who you are. And that's what a faithful dad is. That's who you are. So we've come to the end of Amazing Dads Conference 2026. I appreciate all of you. I just want to go through some of my books before we go through the questions. So start getting your questions. Any questions that you have, start putting them on the live chat and I will endeavor to answer them. But in the meantime, while you're doing that, I'll show you the books that we have available. I hope you're able to read this in correct way round. Amazing Parenting for Dads. So all the dads, you need to get this book. It talks about how dads are the facet you bring to being a dad, to parenting. Mums parent differently from dads. It's a fact. It's not a sex thing. It's a fact. Dads parent different to mums. And so this book that I've written will highlight areas about who you are as a dad that you already know and have. Amazing Parenting Volume 1, that was the first book we wrote in here. We talk about the 3 stages of parenting, stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. That's all in here, Volume 1. At Volume 2, we talk about things of parenting. It's a continuation really of parenting. We talk about teenagers in here as well. Transition from primary school into secondary school and beyond. So if you have a child who's in year 6, going into year 7, going into high school or secondary school, as we call it here in England, this book is for you. These books are for you. And all the books are written in such a way they're easy for you to read. Make sure I can show you some of the text, see how big the writing is. The text is really big. It's easy to read, plain English. So these books are easy for you to read, and then you can just implement what you've read to your child or to your children, and you can read it with them. The top 30 amazing parenting keys, different things that parents need to be looking at and thinking about with their children. Amazing Parenting Through the Bible. We took parents from the Bible and highlighted their lives, things that we can learn from, the good things that they did and the not so good things that they did, we can learn from. It's all in that book. 18 amazing parenting lessons to teach your child before they start school. You know, schools now, they're inundated with Ofsted and this level and that level. There are things that your children need to be able to do before they start school. When mine were little, I made sure that they could at least recognize their name. They could read their name. They could write their name. You know, teachers nowadays, they're inundated with what's going on in schools. So make sure that if your child's still in nursery, that there's things that you teach them before they start school. Then here we've got amazing parenting stories. I interviewed parents, and they gave their real life stories of what they did and what things that they got through with their children. That's a brilliant book. 31 amazing parenting lessons to teach your child before they're 21. Now, this was where we talked about that window closing, you know, in time. There are things that we need to teach our children while they're still living under our roof, because that's our opportunity to teach them certain things. So in this book, we talk about 31 things to teach your child before they turn 21. This book, I wrote this for nursery teachers that are teaching in nurseries, what you need to be teaching children that come to the nursery, what you need to be talking about or thinking about or talking about with staff regarding children that come to the nursery. This one's called Help, My Child Has Special Needs. I talk to a lot of parents whose children are autistic, children have ADHD, just have special needs. So I wrote this book and highlighted certain areas that, as a parent who has a child with special needs, there are things that you can read through this that will help that journey for your child who has special needs. Amazing Parenting, How to Prevent Teenage Pregnancy. If you have a child in secondary school, university, even beyond, get this book for them. It talks about how to avoid those traps of, you know, falling for somebody and you think they're the one and they're not. This will help you, help your daughter, there's a chapter here for the sons as well. So get that book for them. Getting over trauma. We talked about things, you know, things that happen to you as a child will then get reflected into your parenting if it's not been dealt with. So here I wrote a book called Getting Over Trauma. So things that happen to you as a child, you don't want to bring those hurts, those pains, those burdens into your parenting today, parenting your children today, because things happened to you when you was a child. So getting over trauma. Amazing Parenting Against Domestic Abuse. We know this happens. We know domestic abuse goes on in homes. I wrote this for parents who are going through a domestic abuse. Get this for yourself. Get this for somebody who you know who's going through domestic abuse. And domestic abuse doesn't have to be physical. Domestic abuse has different levels. There's financial abuse, there's sexual abuse, there's verbal abuse, there's all kinds of abuse. So if you or somebody you know is going through this, be sure to get this book. I know it might be difficult if you're going through it to get a book on domestic abuse. You know, how will you be reading that in the house with the abuser who is there? But I've also talked about once you are out of the abuse, what you need to start doing. And I go through that in this book as well. Amazing Parenting Guidance and Support. If you're going through the social care system, maybe your children are in care, or they're about to go into care, or you're in the social care, you have a social worker, your children have a social worker, in this book, we wrote about things you need to be doing or thinking about to help you through that journey. Then here we talk about amazing parenting help. I don't understand my teenager. A lot of parents struggle, when their children hit those teenage years. It's so easy when they're little. You just put them in the car, drive them to where they want to go or where you want to take them, and it's easy. But once they become teenagers, things begin to get a bit, unstuck, especially if you haven't gone through the 3 levels, the 3 stages of parenting. So in here, I talk about different things: why your child is moody, why your child talks so much, why your child fights with their sibling, why your child is doing what they're doing at school, why your child may watch pornography. I go into all of that in this book. Here we've got a collection of 103 prayers for children. So if you're struggling to think of what prayer can I pray for my children, or there's a specific thing that they're going through, in this book, there's different prayer points and scriptures that you can use for prayers for your child. And then lastly, but not least, 365 parenting nuggets. So each day of the year, you can go through, let me just read a couple of them, go through each day. So nugget 219 says, just because your child cannot cope well in a classroom setting does not mean they have an illness. It could mean they just learn in a different way. So again, that goes hand in hand with the book of if your child has special needs. Sometimes children don't do well in a classroom setting. It doesn't mean anything is wrong with them. It just means they learn in a different format. So that's all of the books we've written. So go ahead. The links below, the links for the books are below. So please go ahead and buy the books, give the books. Father's Day is coming up. Mums, wives, buy the book. Amazing Parenting for Dads. Buy that for your husband. Buy that for the dad of your children. They're great books to give for people who are getting married. If you want to give them a book because they're soon going to become parents, get them a book for a wedding gift, a christening gift. These books work perfectly for that as well. So just get these books and share with your communities, with your circle of friends, your church groups, your workplaces, your neighbors, for these books so we can enlighten, because I can talk here on parenting forever, but in the book it captures things that I'm not able to say everything online or in a video. So please go ahead and get these books. So do we have questions? Let me just put these on for a second. How do you recover an attribute such as loyal if you've majorly disappointed your family? Okay, if you want to get back the loyalty, if you've disappointed your family in the past and they refuse to forgive you. Brilliant question. So this person is saying, this dad is saying that they have fallen short in the loyal category. We were talking about being faithful. They've fallen short in the loyal category. What you need to start doing is being loyal. Don't try to convince them to forgive you but start being loyal. And how you start being loyal, let your word be your bond. Start saying what you're doing, what you're gonna do, what you want to do, and follow through. That's your first. But what we have is our voice. That's the first thing we have is our voice. So let your attributes show loyalty. Show loyalty. If I don't know if this person is still married or they're divorced or they're not longer with their children, where you can show your loyalty, show it. So if you have your children for the weekend or you have your children every other week or wherever it is, show your loyalty. Show up. Show up. That's what loyalty means. You show up. You are loyal to the cause that you've been given. Being loyal to something means you've been given something and you're taking that thing serious. And how we take those things serious is by showing loyalty to it or towards it or for it. So begin by being loyal. Don't try and win them over by saying, but I'm loyal now. I'm sorry. Of course, you should be sorry if there's something that you've done. But again, if they have to go through the process of forgiving you, afford them that grace to go through the process of forgiving you. But in the meantime, you who is the one who is needing to be loyal or lacking in the loyalty area, begin to show your loyalty. Begin to be loyal. Begin to say and do what you said. Like we said in the beginning, being faithful is what you do, what you say, and how you behave. If that is the onus is on you, it's not on anybody else. It's not on those who are in your family. The onus is on you to be faithful in what you say, in what you do, and how you behave. So begin to do those things with your family members or to those that haven't given you forgiveness yet, and we will pray along with you that things turn around. But yes, begin to show you're loyal. Show you're loyal. Let your word be yes, and let your yes be yes and your no be no. Keep your word as your bond. Okay, number 2, there's another question here. I hope that helps. If that helps you, please put a heart in the chat or just say, yeah, that helps. Okay, this one is really love the amiable. How do you reconcile this with instilling strong discipline and virtues? Absolutely. And like we said, sometimes some of the attributes that we've used, they don't normally go hand in hand with a dad, because with a dad, you set the boundaries, you're the disciplinarian, you put things in order, you're the one who upholds that side of the parenting. But that doesn't mean you cannot be friendly. You're not always up here following the rules and the boundaries. Sometimes you have to come down here and be playful and be enjoying your children and be funny, like we had in some of the comments, people were putting funny. You have to be at that level with your children. There has to be a balance. You can't be boom, 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 boom every day throughout the whole day. There has to be that balance where your children can laugh. Your children know the rules, they know the boundaries. It's not about you wavering with the rules and boundaries, but it's about you having that time where you just chill. You just down tools for a few hours, and you're just playing, you're just interacting. Because when your children know the rules, the boundaries, the routines, they know your virtues, they know your standards. When you are in that low mode where you're just chilling with them, it doesn't deplete your values and your virtues and your standard. It doesn't deplete it. In fact, it gives it stability, it gives it strength. Because your children then know that, yes, my dad has standards, yes, my dad has virtues and beliefs that I have to follow as his child. But at the same time, my dad is relaxed. I can play with him, I can talk to him, I can interact with him. So being amiable doesn't mean you're being weak, doesn't mean you are a walkover, doesn't mean you become a doormat for your children. It just means that you are friendly. It just means you are approachable. It just means it's another side of you. Just like the side of you that has the rules, the boundaries, the routines, the standards, the virtues, the beliefs, that's a side of you. The other side of you, or the other facet to you, is amiable, friendly, approachable, kind, easy to be around. They go hand in hand. It's not one or the other. If I'm, if I have rules and boundaries, routines, then I can't be amiable. No, they go hand in hand. You're amiable with your rules, boundaries, and routines. You have to be able to have your rules, boundaries, and routines set. Your children know what they are. But at the same time, there's a balance to you. There's a balance to you with the being friendly, being approachable, being the dad with the wide arms and the soft chest. So being amiable doesn't mean you're being soft. Okay, let's see if we've got some more. Great. For a friend and think that will help. Thank you. Okay, brilliant. For a friend. Excellent. So yes, send them this video. We're still live, so you can still share. So any more questions? Put some more questions in. I'm seeing hearts and hands of applause, claps, and thank you so much. I'm really appreciative of all of you who have logged on, and those of you that will watch later, those of you that will share this. If we don't share this content, if we don't share this content, it will just end here with us. Once we come off the air, it will end here. So we must share this content. We must be prepared to sit down after we come offline and come off air and begin to share this content. Just take 10 minutes, half an hour to share. You might be rushing off somewhere straight after this. Do it before you go to bed. Share this content. Let's get this content over to 1,000 views. Let's get this up to 1,000 views and beyond. And I could only do that with your help. I can only do that if you send it out to all of your dads, to all of your contacts, to all of your platforms. Send this out on Facebook. Send it out on all the platforms that you have, to all the dads that you have. Send it out to them. Okay? Send it out to them. Do we have more questions? Yes? Any more questions? Any more questions coming in? Any more questions coming in? If not, we are going to round up. We're going to round up. Time has far been spent. So we are going to say goodbye for now. I thank you for logging on. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Just a quick word of prayer. Father, in the name of Jesus, I give all the glory and all the praise to you. Thank you for every dad that has locked on. Empower them to be faithful to their children, to their families. Lord God, cover them with your precious blood of Jesus, Lord. Help them, empower them to be the dad that you have called them to be. In Jesus' mighty name, amen and amen. God bless. See you. Don't forget tomorrow. Don't forget tomorrow. We're in the park. We're in the park. Blackshots Park. Don't forget we're in the park. And the park is Blackshots Park, Grays, Essex, RM 1640R. Those of you that logged on a little bit later. So we're in the park tomorrow. God bless. God bless.